introduce a couple of 60s F100 trucks to you today. One of them, if you're a regular to the channel, you've seen before. It's the first Coyote swap that I had ever done. It is called Old Blue. Now you might think this is Old Blue, but it isn't. This is actually another one that was built by Todd in Oklahoma that was Old Blue, but on steroids. A little bit better, a little bit nicer, a little bit bigger budget. When we did Old Blue, there were only so many things we could do at the time, and you got to remember, 3 or 4 years ago when we did it, there were not a lot of support companies doing the Coyote swap. You know, your Sean Highland Racing, your Power by the Hour, your Ford Performance availability of the harnesses and the transmission controllers. Now it's much simpler, and that's why you're seeing Coyote swap the world. Well, these trucks turn out amazing when they're done. This one was done exceptionally well. There are a few things that I don't like about it. So what we're going to do is, I'll tell you a little bit about it, and then we're going to put them on the road. We're going to drive them 2 hours south, and we're going to put them in a big show and listen to people talk about them. So stay with us. If you like the content, hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead and subscribe now, right off the bat, because we're on our way. With this truck, there were a lot of things done really, really right. Like the height front suspension, whereas Old Blue, we had a Crown Vic front end on that one. This one was already done, and it's done to a really nice standard, but when you drive it, it doesn't inspire confidence. You feel a little afraid while you're behind the wheel. It's got a quick ratio steering rack with a big steering wheel, and it's darty and it's scary. And then the brakes, they're not confidence inspiring in any way. Part of the reason is this master cylinder is right up against the firewall. As they say down south, right up again you. Don't ask me why, but I've heard that my whole life. So yeah, that's right up again you. And there's a bracket that goes in there. And the bracket is, I think, the problem. You need to pull that master cylinder away, use a longer adjustment rod, and you can get the pedal where it's supposed to be. Right now, that pedal is so far up, and the accelerator pedal is so far down that you're dancing with your feet, and that is not good when you're pushing close to 500 horse. So the main thing that I want to do, or the first thing today, is make this a little more drivable in that the accelerator pedal was way too high. So in addition to the uneven pedals, your foot had to be here while you're driving it, and that's no good. There's not a lot of travel on these, so it's drive-by-wire, as you might know. And what happens is, because of the drive-by-wire and the limited motion, you have to lift your foot to put it on here, and when the truck hits bumps or the sketchy steering kicks in, your foot goes wop, 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 and the truck's going all up. So it's very difficult to drive. And that is the main. I won't even take it on a road trip. I've driven it 2, maybe 3 miles. And until I solve this, I'm not going any further. There's another thing that people need to remember when they're doing these Coyote swaps. The Mustang park reverse neutral drive of a 6R80 is not only park reverse neutral drive, there's one more position on it called Sport. That is so that you can engage your push button shifters. This does not have the push button shifters, but it of course has the ability to have them. So what that means is when you are on the column and you go park reverse neutral drive, there's also one more drive, and it may or may not indicate on the Ford column that you're in Sport, but if you just go into drive, you think you're in, so the transmission defaults to a shift map in Sport, which is similar to regular drive, but it isn't. So you always want to make sure that you have that park reverse neutral drive, and I want to make that a little more pronounced in the way that this column behaves. And I mean, that's 60s for you right there. That's, I may need to put a stop in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, but first I'm going to move this pedal, so I'm going to make a bracket. So this was here. And it really needs to be up here. So let's first. Let's do that. And let's take this about here. Made a few adjustments to the accelerator pedal. I still have a lot of other little small things to do, but today we're going to do a shakedown of this truck, and I'm going to drive it to a big car show in Columbus. We're actually going to park this next to Old Blue, so come on along, and this ought to be interesting. Well, would you look at this? We're here at the Columbus Good Guys show today, and we brought Old Blue, and if you're a familiar watcher of the channel, you know that this was the first Coyote swap I had ever done. And I want you to take a look at the differences between this one, and follow me, this one. This was done by our friends Todd in Oklahoma, and he modeled this truck after Old Blue. And the reason was he wanted Old Blue, but he wanted it done just a touch better. And I think he's achieved it. While we've got some adjustments to make, we just made the drive. It was amazing. We're about to do some burnouts. Let's go check out some cool shit. You can open the doors. For a mere price of your first home. Right.
Hey, where's the engine at?
That's that thing in the back, didn't you notice?
Smack a cover on top of it. Talking shit.
It looks amazing too.
Wow. And it's a 69, is that what the sign said?
Walk past a brand new Ford GT, you have to stop and look at it. You know what else you have to stop and look at? Anything with the Kindig badge on it, because let me tell you, the quality of these builds far surpasses most other things. You can look at $225,000 Porsches just like we did back there and compare it to this, and that thing doesn't hold a candle. The level of craftsmanship and quality on a Kindig build is out of this world. You know what else? They were there filming a TV episode and we're walking along like idiots. We bumped into them. We were like, oh shit, sorry. So, you know, let's go back and look at the cars.
I'll put my money on that.
$500,000 car easy.
Yeah.
So.
Coyote Motorsports also specializes in roadside assistance.
How cool is that, right? That burnout contest, all those amazing rides. Kindig was there. It was a lot of fun. It was the 69th, I don't know, it was the anniversary of the 69 Camaro. There was a building full of Camaros. It was amazing. I'm super glad to have had the opportunity to drive this truck, and I talked with a lot of the tuners at great length today about the 6R80 transmission and adaptive parameters, which is something we're going to get into more as this makes it to the tuner. There's a few things we got to button up on it yet, but man, both blue trucks together, it was like a dream come true. Keep watching. So if you ever get the opportunity to go to a good
That's all, folks.
Look at mouth. So if you ever get the opportunity to go to a Good Guys show in your area, please go to it. All you have to do is just go in for admission. You don't need to join Good Guys, but if you're into that kind of thing, I highly recommend it. The shows they put on are second to none. They're usually the biggest in your state, the biggest in the area, and today was no exception.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to share it with anybody on Facebook, any social media you got. If you do have a Good Guys show in your area, definitely go check it out. It's totally worth it. Other than that, we'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.